Hey guys, welcome to an all-new bonus round. I'm Jeff Keighley. This week we are inside the GameTrailers office with a two-man bonus round team, but it's two of our best guests, Michael Pachter and Garnet Lee. Great to have you guys back with us. We're going to get right into it now. Microsoft. A lot of talk about Xbox, how it's doing. January sales numbers were not great. Xbox One sold less than half of PlayStation 4 in the US. There's new boss in charge of the Xbox division. Stephen Elop is going to be running that division. Pachter, is it a state of crisis right now for Microsoft? How do you feel?
Nah, the unit number is not all that impressive, but it's not all that important either.
Right, just 1 month.
Yeah, and it's also 1 month. I mean, it's not like Sony selling double what Xbox sold was still a small number.
Right.
MPD doesn't like us giving out numbers.
It's around like 300,000.
It was under 300,000, but it was 37% of the units that they reported had sold through since Christmas.
Okay.
So the point is that the U.S. didn't get that many units.
Right.
They still sold plenty, and Sony diverting units to other jurisdictions probably happened because Microsoft had to divert units to other jurisdictions.
Right.
I didn't see the Xbox in huge supply in January. They were around. I mean, I saw 1 or 2 per store, but I wasn't seeing 50 stacked up in the ceiling.
You're not buying the anecdotal evidence on the internet of images of Costco's wall of Xboxes.
No, I think that maybe in February, I think that's probably right, but it wasn't right in January.
But beginning of the year is not a big sales time for consoles.
Well, that's what I was going to
anyway.
ask. It's like, a lot of people fixate on Microsoft, Sony, but what was the overall health, you think, of the industry? I mean, to see those numbers go down like that in January, does that sort of, suggest that it's going to be a slow year? I mean, Titanfall is going to obviously move Xboxes in March.
It's hard for me to know if anybody really has a handle after a month.
Right.
But I think Sony was planning on selling about 12 million units this year.
Right.
I think they're planning on selling more now because they're seeing demand so high.
Yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah. I think Microsoft was probably planning on selling about 10 million units this year.
Right.
They're probably thinking that number could be lower, which is why you got the Titanfall bundle and you got the price cut in the UK.
Right.
I think Sony is ecstatic if they sell 12 million or more.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft is pissed if they sell 9.99 million.
Right.
and honestly, if Microsoft doesn't do more on the pricing front, they're going to sell fewer than 10 million units. The Titanfall bundle's great. The 30-pound price cut in the UK is great. Not enough.
Right.
The truth is, I think Microsoft has this arrogance about them that just because they're better, everybody's going to buy an Xbox and no one's going to buy a PlayStation. And I don't think consumers actually embrace that proposition.
But are they better? I mean, we're seeing
I'm saying I don't think consumers embrace that proposition.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft believes it.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you and women. You just know that any woman you want would want to have you too. But of course, all the women probably don't feel exactly the same way, right?
Same for you, Pachter, right? We have Mrs. Pachter, so that's
Yes,
the only advice for Mrs. Pachter, right?
I aimed way above my rank and I got lucky, so But no, I think Microsoft has this attitude that we're better and everybody knows that, and consumers don't necessarily embrace that. They say, at the same price, you might be better, but at $100 more, you're not.
But you see, consistently a lot of games coming out now, Garnet, with people love on the internet talk about frame rate, resolution, things like that. But consistently, I mean, games are looking better on PlayStation 4 than Xbox One, and you can argue how much better or not, but you're never seeing a game that's better on Xbox One than PlayStation 4 right now.
Well, other than Titanfall, which gets back to exclusives.
Exactly.
But I'm not a sales guy so much though as I am enthusiasm guy. And I think that one of the big wins right now in the next gen space, regardless, is Titanfall because it's gotten people excited about having a next gen console, and that's a really big win. And on the other side, I'm really wondering how Sony's missing that ride with Infamous.
Right.
If anything, they've sort of already moved on to talk about 1886 The Order, which looks great. I mean, their new trailer looks absolutely fantastic, beautiful animation, great in-game shots. But why are they pushing that forward when they have Infamous, which was a hero of E3 last year?
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be a great game for PlayStation owners. Where's the marketing for that? What's going on with that?
No, I agree, because that's their exclusive game, first party. But Titanfall is, it's a gift to Microsoft that they have this exclusively. And it's not just, a windowed exclusivity. I mean, this is only coming to Xbox One. Is that going to be a game changer? I mean, do you think in March Xbox is going to pull ahead of PlayStation in sales?
Well, remember,
because of that?
it's Xbox One and Xbox 360.
Right, exactly.
So there's not quite the same urgency to upgrade that.
Although
you
it's
would
2 weeks
get.
later now for Xbox 360, but yes,
Yeah,
it is coming.
But I don't think that there's that many people who feel like I have to buy a new console to play it.
Right.
They're into it for the multiplayer, so I'm not sure even the graphics are going to make that much difference to them. And the bigger multiplayer audience is going to be 360.
Yeah.
So yes, it's beneficial. Yes, I think it'll sell 500,000 more Xbox Ones or something. It's meaningful.
Yeah.
But I think the more important point of Titanfall's exclusivity is it commits people to Xbox Live.
Right.
And I think that, Tretton said this to me, Jack Tretton said this to me, and I think this is actually pretty astute. He's like, whichever box people, buy first, that's the network they're going to join.
Right.
And so I think that this early lead matters. It matters a lot to Sony. It should matter a lot to Microsoft. It's not clear yet that it does. I mean, it's arguable that the Titanfall bundle is a knee-jerk reaction to being behind.
Right.
And that'll help, like I said, by 500,000 units, but I don't think that's going to move Microsoft back into first.
Yep.
I think the right solution is give everybody, something that's got a $100 value, like a game and a year of Xbox Live.
Right.
That, I think, would be meaningful. I think that Microsoft would end up with 60 or 80 or 100 million paying Xbox Live members instead of 20 or 30 million.
Yeah.
And I think they would win the generation, but I think they're addicted to the profits of Xbox Live, and I don't think they want to, forego profits for a year.
Hold up, I got a couple of questions here. So first of all, how much do you think, though, that Trenton's position might be based on last generation, where PSN really wasn't a punch-for-punch contender, and now they do have a legitimate punch-for-punch contender, and they charge, and if anything, they put on with PSN Plus a better value proposition. So they're saying, hey, we want to demonstrate why we're better. The question, though, to me is how many people look at their Xbox Live and say, well, now I'm going to cancel Xbox Live because I'm just going to do PSN. Maybe in this generation, because they're more connected, because we're all more connected, people just do both.
Oh boy, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Too much money. I think $50 matters.
It does matter. But do you want either of those? If you're a two-console person, do you want either one without the online service?
I'm a Netflix subscriber, and I also am an Amazon Prime member, so I guess technically I pay for streaming there, but I don't use the streaming. And I'm an Xbox Live member, and I would not play multiplayer on PSN. I guess I would if it was Infamous 2 multiplayer, because I can't.
Right.
But Second Son, whatever it's called. But I maybe occasionally for the one exclusive game, but I wouldn't pay $50 a year.
To my mind right now, these are premium boxes. They're very expensive, so it's still going to be premium customers. I don't see where they're going to be putting on...
high-end customers who have lots of money, sure.
Right, and I don't see them putting on, a delta in new players. Most of the folks, I think, right now who are adopting the consoles are still folks who had participated in last gen, whether it was PS3 or 360, and now they're moving into this generation still. So, to say, oh, well, they're going to go from 20 million subscribers on Live to 100 million, they'd have to add a whole bunch of people buying boxes, and I don't really see that right now, especially
because the price is still so high.
Because the price is still so high,
That's why I say
and there's
give
not
it
that
away.
much content, right?
That's why I say give it away. If you give away
if you give it away.
But
people,
so
I
you
think,
give
get
away
hooked.
Live, everyone that buys a box then is an Xbox Live member. You don't have this, what is it, like 50% of people or 60% now
Pretty good
buy a
attach rate.
box, get an Xbox Live. I don't know what
Less,
last generation.
yeah,
Less,
less,
okay.
yeah.
But the thing we haven't talked about is
37%, just to give you a good number.
Really?
Okay.
37.5%.
we believe you.
3/8,
Patrick, maybe
3/8,
exactly.
30 million.
Someone's
going to
be checking you on the internet.
3/8, so it's 30 million out of 80 million. It's
Okay.
37.5%.
Okay.
Math major.
All right, guys, hold that thought. We're going to be right back here in the bonus round.